Welcome to our podcast,
Hypnotherapy for the Soul.
This is your host, Shea Pestell, and this is my co-host,
Stella, where we explore the power of hypnosis and connect to inner wisdom for answers.
Through our episodes, we share behind-the-scenes live sessions to help you tap into your inner guidance.
Join us on this journey of self-discovery and utilize the power of hypnosis to connect to your higher self.
In this episode, my friend and co-host Stella is going to be asking me a series of questions directed towards my higher self, which is the part of us that is in spirit still, the fifth dimensional part of us that knows everything about us and our life and of the universe. So she first facilitated me getting into this theta or delta wave state, this hypnotic deep state, prior to the interview questions that you're about to hear and listen to. And today it's all about reality. What is reality, the human experience? What are some new things we can learn to help better our everyday life? Stay tuned and let's get into it.
I have some questions I would like to ask your higher self. And whenever you give me a head nod, I will begin with my questions. And I also want to thank you, Shea's higher self, for being here. So I would first like to know, how do humans perceive reality and what is actually going on?
Humans perceive their reality with their eyes and their senses. The basic senses we know about, but energetically they're also antenna to their spiritual body, to higher levels of consciousness and dimensions. You may refer to it as spirit. So you're not necessarily a spirit coming into a body. It's that you're projecting your consciousness into a third dimension. And so you're doing that from a higher state. And humans are born having amnesia, not knowing exactly where they come from. They think that death is finite, but you're infinite and eternal. And you're just dreaming as though you have left spirit or left heaven or left a different reality.
And I would like to touch on our consciousness. Is our consciousness beyond the third dimension, and how does it work?
Yeah, it's all dimensions, because we have to look at consciousness as one organism. And so you are part of that one organism. And so consciousness is happening right now. Time and space is an illusion. And therefore, you are all levels, you're at all places, all moments, and you're all one. The one is the all, and the all is the one. And so the oversoul breaks off into parts and has all these simultaneous experiences. And in our linear mind, we call them past experiences, past lives, future lives. It's all happening now, though. Consciousness is happening now. And there's infinite levels the three-dimensional mind can't comprehend. And that's part of the experience, though. Your soul wants to experience what it's like to forget who you are, to forget that you are God, to forget that you are the one consciousness, to forget and to separate yourself from creation. There's nothing outside of creation. All there is all that is. And if you exist, then there's nothing you can do about it. You will always exist. That is existence. That is the fundamental nature of existence, is to exist.
Yeah, and you mentioned, I'm curious, what is the purpose that we forget who we are on this 3D plane?
It's changing now because vibration on the planet is raising. Therefore, due to magnetism, there's a discharge. So we're discharging those old beliefs. We're discharging the stuff that doesn't serve us anymore. And so there's discharge in the darkness, meaning darkness is usually, it's just absence of light. So absence of knowingness. And so as the vibrations are raising, people are becoming more aware of their existence. But for some still, the point of having amnesia, it's all part of an experience. It's exciting for soul's perspective to forget who you are. And that's just for a short period of time. We think that 90 years or more or less is so long, but it's not. It's just going to go in a snap of a finger. What is time anyways? It's just an experience. Yeah, and consciousness, like this conversation, nothing's really tangible in the third dimension. It's all just an illusion. You can't take this conversation with you. You can't put it in your pocket or something. It's all just an experience.
And you mentioned that this is an illusion. And I would like to know, what are the illusions of this reality that we experience?
Yeah, so the biggest illusion would be time and how humans measure time. And time is becoming more fluid now as the consciousness raises in vibration to the fourth dimension. And that's where we're going. Yeah, things become more fluid and time won't be such a big deal anymore because the emphasis on measuring time is becoming obsolete. Because when you're in the moment, you are in the moment. And so you're not worried about time. And the life expectancy will raise higher and higher because it's also based on belief system. So another illusion is we believe we die at a certain age, or as you grow older, your body dies. But that doesn't have to be the case, because the other illusion is because at the third dimensional reality level, how you experience time and continuity is based on your projection from a higher dimension. And so it's as if time and continuity is real, but it's your consciousness is shifting billions of times a second, almost as if you imagine film canister that has all the frames within the film. And so, every millisecond, every moment is a new 100% completely new reality within consciousness. And so we're shifting billions of times a second to parallel realities based on our perception of ourselves, our belief systems, our worldview, how we've been programmed at a young age. And so you will create the reality. You'll shift to that reality based on what you believe in.
Thank you. And I'm curious, how can we see past these illusions in our everyday life? Like, what are some of the practices that we can use?
Becoming more mindful of your perception and reality. Learn to question everything. Learn to practice stilling your mind. Go out in nature. Learn to connect to the part of your body that is just all awareness of your mind. You can connect to your heart, to your breath, becoming aware of your awareness. And then when, say, certain situations or experiences happen and you notice maybe there's resistance to that reality, it doesn't feel right for you, you can ask yourself, what do I have to believe in order to feel the way that I do? And pay attention to the answer. The answer will come because there's no other way. The conscious mind is asking the subconscious, what is going on here? What is the limiting belief system I need to become aware of so I can let it go?
Yes, it starts with awareness. I hear you. Thank you for that. And really be honest with ourselves, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we can actually check and speak about our identity and the ego. Do you mind sharing about it? What is our identity and our ego?
So the ego is identity.
Mm-hmm.
And its purpose is just to actually perceive your reality. That's the purpose of your third dimensional brain, your mind, and your eyes. It's just to perceive reality. And where you experience the negative ego, it's not that the ego is negative in itself. Ego is just you're experiencing your reality and who you identify as. There's nothing negative about that. But the negative ego is when we put so much emphasis on creating a reality with our brain, and the logical mind has all these limitations on itself. We're giving it a job that it's not even intended for. The higher mind, the higher self gives you what you need, and you follow, pay attention to the intuition and the flow of your life. And the ego just is meant to perceive what happens. And you learn and grow and you find yourself in different ways based on your experience and your growth, based on what your higher self is giving to you.
So would you say that ego is useful tool if we know how to work with it?
Is a mask for deep sea diving useful to be able to see coral and fish? Yeah, so it's the experience of the human. This is, you are projecting yourself, your reality, into this dimension. That is the ego. You are deep sea diving right now, as a human, in a limited, more limited, dense version of reality. You're also at many other places. You just have forgotten. But you're using a deep sea mask to see your reality.
Yeah, I love that analogy. Thank you. Okay. And we can maybe move to spirituality. And I'm wondering, what is the spirit?
Spirit is an individual soul that incarnates, as you would say, incarnates, but it's in multiple dimensions, meaning from the oversoul is a bigger spirit and it breaks off into other realities, dimensions, in places and time, as you would linearly call it. But the individual experience is a soul. So you're listening to Shea speak. His soul and his body are one, so it's one spirit. But it's also, that's the illusion. Again, he's not singular. You're not singular. We're all part of one.
Yes. Yeah, that's the biggest illusion, is the way I see it, this separation. Okay. And I'm wondering, what are the underlying principles that govern the universe?
Yes, so everything exists here and now. You exist, there's nothing you can do about it. The all are one, and the one are the all, and everything changes except for those first three laws. So that is throughout all dimensions, realities in the multiverse.
What I'm hearing is constant change and transformation.
Yep, except for the existence. It's all here and now in one place and time, and you exist, so it is forever, all eternity, because everything is here and now and at one place.
That's such a hard concept for our rational mind to grasp.
Definitely, because the third dimension is not meant to really grasp that. Again, we all agreed to dream this dream.
That seems very real on this end, very tangible.
It's a real dream, but when you actually go to sleep and you dream, that's what it's really like to be awake. A lot of things in your reality are actually the opposite. When you are born, it's more like a death because you're becoming more of a limited version of yourself. And when you die, it's actually a rebirth because you become who you always were. And you're breaking through that illusion and realize you're so much more than your human life experience.
And we can even have this experience now in 3D, having this connection, especially through hypnotherapy, which we can talk more about later.
Yeah, you don't have to wait for death.
Exactly. Yeah, that's very powerful. Okay. So I would like to know, how does our perception of reality shape our experience of it?
Everything is based on your perception. And so based on, even quantum physics talks about this too. It's you are the observer and you actually collapse space-time and create a reality around yourself. So even people who you talk and connect to, they're just a version of you because it's your reality you're experiencing through your consciousness. So it's not even, you're not even seeing that other person. It's just your idea of them. And they're reflecting to you what you believe and perceive of your reality and yourself. You can't not experience what you perceive.
Okay. And I would just like to talk about some limitations and biases in our current scientific understanding of reality.
Limitations and lots of theories that are incorrect, but again, like just the whole time continuity and basic physics, that's not even talked about in school or in textbooks. They use conventional physics rather than quantum physics. Quantum physics just nullifies everything in basic physics. Newton's law goes out the door when you look at quantum physics.
Exactly. And are there also some limitations and biases in our current spiritual understanding of reality?
course, humans like to categorize and label things as an outside source. So even when we label and say something with spirituality, that's actually separating yourself and from the experience of actually experiencing your spirit, being present with your awareness, which is all that is, which is the one consciousness, which is pure awareness.
I love this one. Thank you. This makes so much sense. Again, illusion of separation.
Yep.
Thank you.
3D game.
Yes, that's our 3D game. Now I would like to shift to self-development topic, and I'm curious, why should one focus on their growth within self-development? Is that really important?
Yeah, because as being a bigger aspect of yourself, you're revealing to yourself more and more as you grow who you truly are. And that's the whole point of your human experience, right? Remember, we've came into this life forgetting so that we can learn who we are. So when you're growing, you're revealing to yourself more and more of just who you are. And you can't have a bigger impact on the world than you already do by existing, right? That goes back into that law. And that's why, it becomes an illusion when you actually really focus on all these things. Every which direction we look at these things.
Thank you. And another question, how can one reach their full potential? What do they need to know about themselves in order to get there?
It's about trusting the process, not having insistence on any expectations. And actually, you can use the excitement principle as the organizing principle of your life. So when you focus on what excites you in every moment, when a choice presents itself, when you have to choose something, listen to your intuition, listen to your excitement based on that choice. And if you continue to do that in your everyday life, right? Because excitement is energy from your spirit saying, this is the way to go. This is follow me. This is your path. But then the logical mind comes in and is like, oh, I don't know. Like trying to dissect and analyze every little detail. And it's all bullshit, because if you're paying attention to your heart, then it will never steer you in the wrong.
No. Yeah, this is wonderful. So basically, really tuning in, tapping into our excitement, because this is where our heart expands and really feels, I guess, just aligned with our spirit, as you mentioned.
Definitely. And it goes a little bit more than that, like not judging your excitement either, not judging if it transforms into something else, if it looks completely different than passion you had once had, or you go into something because you're excited about it, then you have insistence or expectation of an outcome based on you starting that thing that you wanted to do out of excitement. That's where also the doors close. Because again, that's the negative ego trying to control reality. But your higher self, your higher mind is going to take you where you need to go. And so you just have to take the leap of faith and follow excitement without any assumptions or expectation.
Thank you. This is such a wonderful message to receive. Yeah, it just really lands in my heart as well. So thank you for sharing. Okay, so I would like to kind of dive a little bit deeper in that. And I'm wondering, how can one discover their true calling and purpose in life?
Well, again, it's the same message with following your excitement, because fulfilling your excitement is your purpose. Purpose of your life is to live your life. Otherwise, you wouldn't be experiencing life, right? If you exist, there's nothing you can do about it. And so when you're following your excitement, you are living your purpose, whatever that is, right? And it will morph and forward to other things. Yeah, because of the limitations of the third dimension and how dense things are. A lot of people obviously don't work within this frequency. And so it would be safe to say that everyone's purpose in life is to live an enjoyable, loving, and happy life, right? Because how many people are actually doing that? Having abundance, giving freely, loving their neighbors, enjoying every moment of their life. That's your purpose. And so if you're not doing that right now, you got some work to do. And that's your purpose.
That's a good one. I love it. And thank you for, makes sense. And to kind of lean on that, how can anyone actually learn to trust their intuition and follow their inner guidance?
Yeah, so feeling what feels right is different than thinking. And so one really has to discern and associate the difference, you know? So that's why there's sayings within the planet of like, trust your gut feeling. And it really is a second brain, right? There's neurons within your gut. That's why it's also important to feed yourself the right nourishment, high alkaline diet, and because it's your brain, and you will really utilize your intuition that way, trusting that feeling of just what feels right. If you're just focusing on that. And like, I don't need to explain it. I think everyone will know when I say it, what feels right.
Yes, exactly. And really trusting that.
Because it is a sixth sense, but it's actually, people have forgotten it. It is the most important thing. And your heart too.
Yeah, it almost feels like our mind and cognitive ability is just glorified, or it has been too glorified in our community.
Yep, that's one of the illusions of our scientific associations.
Okay, and so we touched on intuition and really feeling into what feels right, leaning into our feelings. And I'm wondering, but how can someone become conscious of the limiting beliefs or patterns that are holding them back from living their best life?
So if you, for example, step out to do one thing that will take you closer to your 3-year vision, and your dream is something that goes beyond what you're experiencing now, it has no limitations. So whatever limitations you're experiencing right now, 3 years' time, it's like a quantum leap
of where you are now to where you want to be.
And so just trusting that step that you make towards that vision, right?
And any tips on how to increase our self-awareness and inner peace?
Anyone who's asking those questions are in the right place, for example, because you know how important this is. So how you can increase it is if you're just staying true to yourself, you know what your values are. You give time for your mental, physical, and spiritual health. You get the right amount of rest, right amount of nourishment for your body, drink the right amount of water, meditate or do mindfulness exercises, maybe write in a journal, becoming more aware of those beliefs or certain areas of your life and relationships, health, career. Just like giving yourself time to like purge anything or vent anything out. Give yourself time to listen to you, you know. Also being with the fulfilling and like right people in your life that will allow you to grow. You want to grow in your relationships, not grow apart from them. So you notice, something doesn't feel right in a relationship. It's best to drop people for yourself. Might sound harsh, but it's also knowing what's best for you and having boundaries. That's knowing your values.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah, that's a big one. And since you are talking about relationships, what can we do to improve our relationships?
Again, just knowing that we're all one. So they're just a different aspect of yourself, and whatever they are reflecting to you or whatever you feel towards them is how you feel towards yourself, or something you need to learn about yourself. If you experience something negative in a relationship, they're just showing you something you're neglecting in your own life or something that bothers you about yourself and you see it in them. That's why people start pointing fingers at that other person, but you really got to point at yourself in the mirror, because we're all one, and so we're all teaching each other something. Our relationship is what is it in relation to? It's in relation to you, that person. It's a reflection. And so your self-worth is actually everything, because you're not going to grow unless you grow your self-worth and understand who you truly are. The self-introspection work is absolutely everything.
Thanks for that. And speaking of which, how can we better serve humanity and make a positive impact in the world?
By following your joy and excitement, because it is from your spirit, it is from your heart, and you are aligned with the good-natured will of humanity, for yourself and for others who are part of your life. It will bring out the good in everything you do and then who you're with and your surroundings. So it really is the driving principle of your life. Just make sure you are aware of discerning the difference between anxiety and excitement, because some people don't.
Yes, joy and excitement. There we go. Do you want to speak to that?
Well, it's for each person to learn how to discern how they feel, right? So for example, if some people might have a limiting belief system, and it's like it could be in contradiction with themselves, for example, and it's like, and then their anxiety, and they rush into that, it throws them off. So like if someone has something, a fear of losing people or having negative relationships or having a negative experience based on following your joy or passion or being more loving, right? Then there's something wrong with your belief system of what love, joy, and following your excitement is. And so it's up to you to reframe your belief system. Does that answer the question?
I think it does, yes. Thank you. Actually, I have last questions on self-development, and it's for those who are feeling stagnant in their life. I'm curious, what is actually the next step one can take in their spiritual journey?
Yes, you are spirit first. But if you're feeling stagnant in your body and in your reality, you're living a physical existence. Just remember that. You got to keep moving. So if you're stagnant, pay attention to maybe reasons why. Are there fears that are holding you back? And so you need to rework on your values. And again, like becoming excited of what it is you want to do has to be more powerful than your fear. And you have to be unstoppable. You're going to bring this thing into fruition and to create it in your life, regardless of those fears. And actually get excited, because it's a good thing that those fears are there, because on the other side is pure bliss. You're gonna build your self-confidence. You're gonna learn that like there is no such thing as failure. You being stagnant is failure, because you're not giving yourself a chance. You have to get up and try and do and see what works, see what doesn't. Keep going, and you're going to build up confidence in yourself. You're going to learn what doesn't work and what works, and then you can become unstoppable, and your excitement will grow and grow to the point where, yes, what is fear? False evidence appearing real, and your excitement is there for you to push through that. So, because that's all it is. Because what is fear actually anyways, right? It's a survival mechanism, and it's like within the brain, the amygdala, right? And so it's just fight or flight receptors, and it's based on survival. So yeah, if you are walking in the woods and you see a grizzly bear, yeah, your survival mechanism should jump into play, and you should be able to act or react accordingly to survive. But how many of us are coming across grizzly bears in our lives? None of us are. So if you have an excitement of wanting to content create and to be, I don't know, an authority within online or helping, supporting others, and you want to, say, for example, be a speaker, public speaker, but you have a fear of public speaking, there's nothing within that fear that is based on survival, right? You're not going to die going up on stage. So it's just limiting. Again, it's a limiting belief systems based on your upbringing that you need to figure out.
Yes, thank you for that. And now I would like actually to address hypnotherapy, because what we're doing now is hypnotherapy, and maybe some of the listeners might be wondering, how do I connect to my higher self? Or is that possible for me as well? Or do I need to work hard to get in touch with that part of me, or am I just trapped in 3D reality? So would you share, how is hypnotherapy useful and what is fundamentally going on?
Yes. Well, hypnotherapy is useful, of course, and some will believe it so and some won't. And anything you use to become a better version of yourself is a permission slip. So like following your excitement, for example, of whatever it is, let's say yoga, for example, that really excites you, right? It will allow you to be your best self. For example, Shea has chosen hypnotherapy to heal past traumas or to have more clarity of things in his life, of his limiting belief systems, of his patterns and relationships, his relationship to wealth, abundance, and money, all these things. What is he doing? All these healings, all this understanding is coming from him. But he's using hypnotherapy as a tool. And it can be a very useful tool if you use it in that way.
And how does hypnotherapy work for everyone?
Yes, because everyone has subconscious. It's just how receptive are they compared to other people? So it's case by case basis. Some might have maybe a higher activated critical mind than their subconscious, and it might just be more difficult for them to reach that state. But over time, if they really want to, they can. It's based on the willingness to do whatever it is you want to do. So if you're excited about hypnotherapy to transform your life, then do it, and it will work for you, because, well, why would you be excited about it?
Exactly. That's such a good point. And I would also say that just allowing yourself to experience that is also really helpful.
Yeah, and curiosity too. So because it's just like anything, there's labels. Some people might have a label of hypnotherapy and think it's voodoo, or have some sort of idea of what that is, not really know the truth behind it. But if you start to become curious about it, then that curiosity becomes excitement, and try it out.
Thank you. And I'm curious, what is actually another question? How does one have spiritual, emotional, mental, physical healings and breakthroughs within hypnotherapy?
Yeah, you're connecting to your higher self, or you're connecting to part of you, right? Your subconscious, and you're bringing it to the conscious mind. So a lot of the problems and challenges we face are subconscious. And so to really transform that, you need to do it in the subconscious role. So that's why hypnotherapy can and does really work. And there's been profound cases, but it's everyday life. Miracles happen all the time. And the miracle is you, because if we go back into what we talked about, you're shifting billions of times a second into a completely new reality. 10 minutes before you meet your hypnotherapist, you're a smoker. You believe yourself to be the smoker. You give your power away to this substance, thinking that this has power over you. And then you discover within hypnotherapy, you are choosing to smoke. You're choosing to believe you're not as powerful as the smoke. But then you realize the patterns and the realizations around this, that you have a choice, and you can decide here and now not to be a smoker, and boom, you shift to a parallel reality that you never did pick up the cigarette to begin with.
Yeah, how powerful is that?
And we call it cold turkey, but no, it's...
Yeah, cold turkey. So what I'm hearing is you are the miracle, and you are choosing your reality, and you have all the power within you. It's just a matter of realizing that and making a choice, and I would say an informed choice. Because when we are operating, when we don't know what we're doing, when we don't have our consciousness, or we are not conscious of our decisions, then I can call it conscious choice.
Exactly. Because, yeah, it's all the patterns and stuff that dictate our lives that might be going against what we truly want. A lot of it is unknown, and habits are unknown. So once you realize what a habit is, right, then it becomes a choice. And then you realize you do have the power. Or why would you choose to give away your power about a substance? Like, you can experience what you want to experience with that substance without taking it.
Exactly. And just for the last question on hypnotherapy, what is hypnotherapy doing scientifically and spiritually?
Well, everything is vibration. So in the hypnotic state, you're accessing the longer, deeper bandwidths. So like theta, delta, brainwave frequencies. So you're connecting. So that's scientific. But then in a spiritual way, like that, you become this all-knowingness. Some people, Shea himself included, right, connect to their higher self. They connect to outside of this incarnation. They see their whole life planned and designed by their higher self. They know that they are in control. They see where they've come from, where they're going, why they're here. It's all frequency.
Makes sense. And seems like a person, if they so choose, can really explore, and not just that, they can really take charge of their lives, which I find very empowering. Like, it's such an empowering tool to have.
Exactly, because the facilitator isn't doing anything. I mean, it could be their belief that the facilitator is doing something for them to heal or to experience what they want to experience, and it will work based on their belief system of that. But what's truly happening is themselves, again, right? And that's why it is so empowering, because you're showing to each person just the power that's inside. We are all gods, experiencing life as though we're not, but we are. And that's the revelation.
Thank you. So we've received so many valuable and inspiring messages today, and I really want to thank you for that. And if there is anything, the last message that you feel like conveying to everyone listening, let me know what that can be.
Yes. Learn to look through those eyes, how you perceive your reality, as if you're seeing the things you see for the very first time. Have curiosity. Have curiosity of how you think. See each thought come in and realize, what is that? Question it. Be curious. Get excited. Pay attention to your heart, to your breath, to your intuition. Allow your life to unfold. Know that you're at the right place in the right time. You're here to experience your reality. There's no rush, because you are eternal, and you're here to experience and have fun and enjoy and to share these beautiful moments with your loved ones and friends.
Thank you so much. It is wonderful. Okay, Shea, welcome back. Yeah, so tell us, how was this experience for you?
It was really relaxing and peaceful. I was just like in a just really comfortable, relaxing place. Yeah, if anyone's experienced like meditation, like a deep sort of transcendental meditation, that's kind of where I was. So it was really blissful, peaceful. Yeah, I was aware of some of the questions and answers, and sometimes I wasn't, just kind of in and out of my conscious mind.
And did you feel in control of what was happening?
Yeah, I felt like my conscious mind was aware of where my subconscious or like my higher self was going to talk about, and like I'm still in control. Like I'm still in control of my voice and everything. Yeah, it's a unique experience.
Yeah, so what I'm hearing is that while you're tapping into your subconscious mind, your conscious mind is still alert and notices everything that's going on, but without interference.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes you can notice when there is interference. Like at one point I was trying to be like, oh, did I answer the question? And then I couldn't even remember the question. And then I didn't even remember what I said, because I'm just so in the moment that critical conscious mind can't even keep up sometimes. And it doesn't need to, but then sometimes it gets a little like daunting because it's so different than what we're used to.
Yeah. And I'm also curious about awareness, because we discussed how self-awareness is important. And while you are in this state of mind, what is your awareness like? Awareness of the world and everything?
Just kind of like an energetic daydream. I was, like visualizing my higher self. And then when I'm actually speaking for my higher self, I'm like thinking as though I'm my higher self. So then I'm talking about creation and reality. And then even talking about humans and how we perceive and do things. I'm visualizing that, and I'm seeing it. And I'm seeing it from a different perspective, like seeing right through the illusion.
And Shea, I'm curious, after each of these sessions, do you find this wisdom that you receive integrating through your being and also in your consciousness?
Yeah,
Of course, the more I do it, the more I become aware, because it really is a practice to change your thinking and to see things a little more holistically and from a higher perspective. Like it's not like you're just gonna all of a sudden just overnight just have fifth dimensional thoughts and awareness and thinking. It doesn't happen like that. So, but over time, I do notice that I am thinking more and more that way. I am becoming more aware of my thoughts and stuff. I'm just like everyone else, where I still experience limitations of being human. I still get in my own way. But yeah, one of my excitements is self-development. So it's like, I'm humble. I know what my strengths and weaknesses are. I'm working on myself. I'm doing the work. And yeah, it's one of my excitements.
Thank you. Yes, and I can tell that we were discussing that those states of mind, right? How it seems like you are in this theta state. And I, on the other hand, who I'm facilitating, I also feel that my state of mind changes while I am leading you or just guiding you rather. And for me, it feels like I'm in this alpha state and feels everything just slows down for me as well. It just feels calmer and I can meet you where you're at. And it feels I feel connected to you in a different way. Almost like there are these barriers that are usually between, us humans, they're kind of dissipate. And it's very beautiful space that we are both co-creating.
Definitely. I've experienced that when I'm facilitating
Hypnosis for clients too.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. So I wanted to actually thank you for, just allowing me to be part of the experience. And more than that, for sharing all this wisdom that came through, because I was obviously taking notes, as I always do. But one part of me was also so excited to hear all the wisdom that came through you and just be like, I'm so happy to hear that, just getting some reassurance. As you mentioned, we are still in this 3D reality, living our lives, being in our own ways. And just getting that, it feels such a gift. So thank you, Shea, for being so kind and willing to tap into this for me, for you, for everyone.
Of course. It's my pleasure. It's my highest joy and excitement. So
there you go. Love it. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Hypnotherapy for the Soul, brought to you by myself, Shea Pestell, and my friend and co-host, Stella, where we share with you behind-the-scenes live hypnotherapy sessions to give you the authentic experience of what it means to connect to your subconscious mind that you can tap into. Please follow us at hypnotherapyforthesoul.com, Patreon, and our socials, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. See you in the next episode.